Hi, folks. This is Dr. Don again. It's about 4:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon Eastern Time, and I thought I would run through the Lab 2 remix, question one, the first part to get you going. Needed to update the video. I think it's been a while since I made one. This is the way I like to set up, and I've mentioned this before. I like to clean everything off of my monitor that I'm using, and I open four tabs. This is the Lab 2, the Rehearse 1, which we'll need. I've got a tab with the Rehearse 2 when we need that, and then I've got the actual Remix lab manual page, and I prefer to read the instructions off of it. And then I've got my Posit Cloud set up here, and this is the way it should look when you open it up. I'm going to delete that. I'm sorry, I left that from the last session. It'll be empty when you start, and you won't have this blue code down here generally. I just have been working, so that shows from the last part of the session. But the first thing you want to do is to click on this Remix student name or markdown file and open it and do a file save as, and I'm going to put my name in here. Notice that I put those dashes back in there. You can use underscores. Some of the packages we use in Canvas don't like blank spaces in file names. And if you've got a blank space, it will replace that space, one character, with a % and the number 20. And that makes these things very hard to read. So that's why we use dashes or underscores there. I'm going to save that. Now, the last time I was messing with this, I already put my name in here, which is where you should put it, and I updated the date as well. So then I'm going to scroll down here till I get to the first code chunk. There it is, my cursor there. Then I'm going to go back to the Lab Manual Remix page, and then I read these things. Here we mention again, you're allowed to use limited Gen AI in these courses, primarily to help you if you run into a coding error. And I've got a couple of videos on how to use the free models to help you with coding errors. And we'll skip over that. And this is the guidance again. Open the student name, save it in your name. I don't want to deduct 5 points, so do that. First thing we hit is to copy this code, paste it in the template, and then run it. So I'm going to go over here, hover over the little green, that's a clipboard if you look real close. Click on copy, and it says copied. Now I go over here, and this is my Remix CC1. Put my cursor there, Control V to paste in if you're on a PC. I think it's Command V on a Mac. Now I've got these four packages with a library function that will load them into the session library, which we need. Go over here and click on the Run Current Chunk, and it runs those. And it may take a while if you're just starting out to load these. I've loaded them previously, so it goes pretty quickly. I scroll on down here. Here's CC2. And again, I go back and I read in the lab manual page in the Remix. Read here. Create the Gapminder data object by copy, paste, and running this code in your Remix template. So again, we copy that code. It says copied. I go back here to my template, paste it in, Control V, and I'm going to run this chunk. And we created that Gapminder data object or data frame. DF stands for data frame. You click on the little blue triangle there, and it expands, and it shows the variables we have in this database, this data frame. We got the country, which is a factor. That's a text qualitative variable. We got continent, which is a name as well. They call it a factor. And then the year is a number. Life expectancy is a number. Population is a number. and GDP per capita's number. The integer means it's an integer, number means it's got a decimal in there sometimes. So that kind of is important for you to go over it. Notice that spacing and spelling and capitalization is really important in these things, so you got to pay attention to these. All right, so let's go on down. If I'm in next empty code block, remix CC3, go back to the instructions. And here's question 1. In 8.2.3 in the Lab 2 rehearse, we made a histogram of life expectancy of countries in the gapminder data. It says copy that code chunk, Lab 2, rehearse 1, CC27, and paste it in the remix template in this remix CC3. So I go over here to rehearse 1, and you may have to scroll down looking for the code. That's 27, and there's 21, and getting closer, CC3, CC25, 26, CC27. Copy the code, copied, go back here, paste it in, Control V, and then run it. And you can see we created the histogram. And then you can read the rest you need to do on your own. I'm going to stop here, and the next video will go into the next part. So I hope this gets you started.